good ability to drive. There's good ability to fly. How much sense does it make to upgrade train speeds from 135 miles an hour to 160 miles an hour? How much sense does it make to build a high-speed rail across Florida? Amtrak and rail projects in 15 states are now being awarded the $2 billion that Florida lost after the governor canceled the plans for the high-speed train service. Yeah, think about it. You've got a project in Florida. You offer to Florida this project, and you say, you want to build this thing? And Florida looks at it and says, well, the amount of money we have to come up with is more than we want to spend on a project like that. And the governor, I think, wisely says, no, we don't want it. Does the federal government say, good, then we have some extra money to pay off the budget or to reduce the federal budget deficit? No, they are intent on spending that money. Wouldn't you think they'd go back to the Congress and say, Florida just gave us back $2 billion. Why don't we use it to reduce the deficit in the federal budget? The largest share of the money, $800 million, will do what I mentioned a moment ago, upgrade the train speeds on the Northeast corridor from 135 to 160 miles an hour. The department is reallocating that money, and another $400 million goes to high-speed rail service in the Midwest, including construction of a 110-mile-per-hour track between Detroit and Chicago that will save passengers 30 minutes of travel time. Of course, now that we've found out that Al-Qaeda and bin Laden were targeting the trains in America, and you're going to have to probably go through security checks, I imagine that 30 minutes will be eaten up by standing in line. $340 million, a third of $1 billion, will go to state-of-the-art locomotives and rail cars for California and the Midwest. A lot of electoral votes there. And California gets another $300 million for trains that will travel 220 miles an hour between San Francisco and Los Angeles. Now, think about this. You want to go from San Francisco to L.A. If you go in a car, what was it the last time I drove it? 5 hours? 5 hours to drive that far? So how much sense does it make to have a rail connection? Oh, I don't know. If you want to go in an airplane, you can go at 400 miles an hour. If you want to go in a train, you end up going at how much per hour? You go at half that. For billions and billions of dollars, and do you think that that makes any sense whatsoever? 866-439-5277. Send your emails to talk@larslarson.com, and let's go to, how about we go to line one, and John. John, welcome to the Lars Larson Show.
Hi, Lars, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. What's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to comment on your question about should we allow the captain of an airliner the discretion to get somebody off the airliner. And I'm a airline. From my experience in the federal aviation regulations, you cannot, the captain does not have the discretion to put somebody off the airplane just because he objects to them personally. Like an actionable reason, and that would be safety of flight. So, for example, if a person was intoxicated.
Yeah. So, but tell me this, when you say it can't be personal, I don't think this pilot was being personal. He was saying, I view those two as a risk to my flight. I don't want them on my flight. Now, you know, if he said, I don't like, that man's bad breath, or that man was, that man's a guy that I've met before and I don't like him personally, he's saying, I don't want these two Muslims on my plane. Do you think he can do that in this day and age, or not?
I don't believe so, because I believe that that would be profiling, and the operational word here is that the person would then be accused of taking by regulation. Speaking strictly to the point that you were talking to,
yeah.
They were Muslims, and he was worried about it just because they were Muslims. I don't think that would hold up.
Okay, because when a guy gets on a plane, I've never done this, but I've seen people trying to get on planes who are drunk. I mean, they've had too much to drink, but they may not have caused a problem yet. But aren't you doing the same thing by saying, I think if that drunk guy gets on my plane, he will cause a problem, or he's more likely to cause a problem?
Well, in the case of a drunk, if he's on the airplane drunk, he's passed several layers of security already, and right. The captain's kind of like the last line of defense. But in that case, all he's doing is he's saying, the person being on the airplane, by the nature of the fact that he is intoxicated, is therefore not allowed to fly, and there's a regulation specifically addressing that.
That you can't fly if you're intoxicated.
Correct.
Okay, that's the place I was trying to get some clarification. But John, thanks a lot for the call. Paul in Spokane, welcome to the program. How are you, sir? Hey, Paul, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's on your mind?
Yeah, great. I thought that the rail thing, you know, I realize you said only like $340 million is for the locomotives, I guess, in part, but, you know, regardless of if they actually construct the rail and buy the land and et cetera, you know, don't you think one of the first things they're going to do is, lo and behold, build diesel-electric locomotives and upgrade existing ones, et cetera, et cetera? Who makes a bunch of those? Is that GE, by the way?
Now you start to catch on. You follow the money to where it's going. I couldn't say for sure, but you're right.
Yeah,